Speedway. They spread throughout every inch of NASCAR, and it is certainly well-deserved. Well, Mark, we're about to go truck racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We don't know what's going to happen over the course of 134 laps that make up the 200 miles of this North Carolina Education Lottery 200.
If Kyle Busch doesn't win this, we'll have 8 different winners in the last 8 races. And again, Corey Heim, who's so good on 1.5-mile tracks, he could make it 8 for 8.
Yeah, Charlotte Motor Speedway, definitely a variety of winners. By the way, the Tough Trucks of NASCAR will be back at Charlotte this fall. For the first time, they will be able to race on the Roval as part of their playoffs. That's going to be exciting. But as we get things started correctly here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway, let's go down to track announcer Brian Hammond to kick off opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as you are able. Remove your hats, and veterans render a hand salute as York Comprehensive High School Navy Junior ROTC presents our nation's colors. Here to offer tonight's invocation, please welcome U.S. Air Force veteran Staff Sergeant Donnie Floyd.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father God, we thank you for a beautiful night. Yesterday, Lord, you didn't promise us today, but we are here, so we are grateful. God, we know we missed the mark of your standard, and I want to ask that you forgive us. We appreciate your grace and forgiveness. God, we thank you for a beautiful night, but also for the spirit of competition. We thank you for NASCAR and the Charlotte Motor Speedway and all that we get to do here tonight to enjoy this sport. And so, God, I ask your protection over this place tonight. For all the fans here, all the track workers, all the crews, and especially our drivers, that you would give us a safe night. And last but not least, God, I thank you for freedom as we honor and remember the men and women of this great nation that have given their lives so that we could be free to do what we do tonight. And so, God, let us never take that for granted. Let us never forget that. We ask for your extended grace and mercy over us. In Christ's name, amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome worship leader and 4th grade teacher from Gastonia, North Carolina, Megan Richard.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That'll put the wraps on our pre-race coverage when we come back. The command of fire engines in the North Carolina Education Lottery 200 here on the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the Tough Trucks of NASCAR.
NASCAR Live Race Day has been brought to you by Toyota. For the latest Toyota Gazoo racing information, visit tgrna.com.
Want to know the latest with short track racing around the country? Well, one show has you covered, NASCAR Coast to Coast. Hi, I'm Chris Wilner. Join me each week as we break down the biggest headlines in grassroots racing and in NASCAR's regional and touring series. We'll also talk with rising stars from your favorite short track. Once again, it's NASCAR Coast to Coast, and you can watch or listen today on YouTube, Facebook, MRN.com, or on your favorite podcast platform.
The thrills of NASCAR racing from over 55 years of Motor Racing Network broadcasts.
Bobby Allison brings the race car right down in the middle of the track, crosses the start-finish line, and he will win the 24th annual Daytona 500.
Bill Elliott wins the Hooters 500. Alan Kulwicki, 1992 champion.
MRN Classic Races.
And in the whole pack, steaming for the finish line, Dale Earnhardt wins a Winston 500.
Find all the classic moments on MRN Classic Races on any podcast platform.
We're about to go green here at Charlotte in the North Carolina Education Lottery 200, and this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
NASCAR history.
Danny wins his 200th career NASCAR victory.
Told by the people who made that history.
President Reagan was there. He got us on the front page, and we got him in the sports page. It was a good trade-off from that standpoint.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast The Road to Royalty. Jeff Gordon, a colorful career, 50 years of MRN, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
After a devastating storm that brings down trees and homes, so many families have nowhere to turn. That's why Samaritan's Purse responds immediately after hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, and fires all across the country. Our volunteer teams bring tools and compassion to homeowners who have lost not only possessions, but more importantly, hope. You can help. Join with Samaritan's Purse. Log on to samaritanspurse.org.
Live on the NASCAR Racing Network. It's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Get a big thumbs up. Get ready to rock and roll and pass the race cars today, pal. Go boys, let's execute. Have a good day.
Tonight, the North Carolina Education Lottery 200 from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Brought to you by Craftsman. Runs long, works great, won't slow you down. The Craftsman V20 brushless RP lineup, built for the backyard and beyond. See craftsman.com for details. By Straight Talk Wireless, real unlimited data for fans of fast. Official partner of NASCAR. By Toyota. For the latest Toyota Gazoo racing information, visit tgrna.com. And by Sunoco. From NASCAR to your car, Sunoco fuels peak performance.
A lot of excitement here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The sun has most definitely set, and the lights are brightly lit here as the drivers are climbing into their trucks, and they're about to go racing here in the North Carolina Education Lottery 200. Want to say thanks to Toyota for our pre-race coverage. For the latest Toyota Gazoo racing information, you can visit tgrna.com.
Again, we've talked about the last 7 truck races here at Charlotte, 7 different winners. That streak started by Johnny Sauter back in 2018 when he won from the pole. Kyle Busch in 2019. Here's some other names you might recognize. Chase Elliott, 2020. John Hunter Nemechek in 2021. Ross Chastain in 2022. The last 2 years, Ben Rhodes in 2023. A year ago, again, Nick Sanchez with a come-from-behind win.
Mark, when these trucks roll off a pit road, we've got a few of them dropping to the back. This is due to unapproved adjustments. Cody Dennison, Justin Carroll, Frankie Muniz, and Mason Maggio. They effectively are already at the back. Luke Fenhouse is in a backup truck. He is going to go to the back as well. All that means is Stuart Friesen, who didn't actually make a qualifying lap and is qualified 32nd, will just move up 3 spots.
Yeah. So, again, he is looking to make some big moves early to try to make up for what happened in qualifying. And, again, as he just started off pit road, got up to full speed, and just as fast as he got up to full speed, truck shut off, and he had to coast around until they had to push him in.
Yeah, ideally that's something that they completely figured out, completely fixed, and he's not going to have to worry about it. Stuart Friesen, an excellent driver. We'll be watching that Hallmark Friesen truck work its way toward the front. But we've got a lot of the tough trucks of NASCAR here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. As the drivers are all strapped in, they've got their helmets on. We're going to go trackside to get the command of fire engines here with this North Carolina Education Lottery 200. Let's go down to our track announcer, Brian Hammond, here at Charlotte.
Charlotte Motor Speedway, here to say the most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome Lucky Rewards winner, Kenneth Peoples.
Drivers, start your engines.
Now, here's the starting lineup.
Starting 34th, Mason Maggio, the Control Alt Protect Ford. 33rd will be Luke Fenhouse, the Soda Sense Ford. Stuart Friesen rolls off 32nd in the Hallmark International Toyota, and the Moorcore Diamond Drilling Ford of Frankie Muniz starts 31st.
Then 30th on the grid in the Carroll's Automotive Toyota, it's going to be Justin Carroll. 29th, Cody Dennison, the Flux Ford. The Canal Coffee Company Chevrolet of Spencer Boyd, 28th. 27th, Timmy Hill, the 500th NASCAR Start Toyota. The Chi-Chi's Menards Ford of Matt Crafton starts 26th. 25th, Tony Breidinger in the Celsius Toyota. The Food Country USA Chevrolet of Parker Kligerman, 24th. 23rd, Tyler Ankrum, the Liuna Chevrolet. The Adaptive One Caliper Chevrolet of Jack Woods, 22nd. And 21st, Ben Rhodes, the Campers Inn RV Ford.
Rolling off 20th, Stephen Parsons, the Spring Great Chevrolet. The Pigeon Forge Racing Coaster Chevrolet of B.J. McLeod starts 19th. 18th will be Grant Enfinger, the Grant County Mulch Chevrolet. Dawson Sutton starts 17th in the Rackley Roofing Chevrolet. Matt Mills rolls off 16th, the JF Electric Utilitra Chevrolet. Connor Mozak will start 15th in the Apollo Peck Chevrolet. The Telcel Chevrolet of Andre Perez de Lara will start 14th. 13th, Brandon Jones, the Sprecher Toyota. The Gamebridge Chevrolet of Kyle Busch rolls off 12th. And 11th, Ty Majeski, the Overplay Curb Records Ford.
Now here's the top 10. Outside of road number 5 and the Quanta Services Ford, it's Jake Garcia. To his inside, starting 9th, Chandler Smith, the Quick Tie Ford. The HendrickCars.com Chevrolet of Rajah Caruth is 8th. 7th, Lane Riggs, the UNC Charlotte Ford. Starting 6th on the outside of road number 3 and the Napa Auto Care Chevrolet, it's Daniel Hemrick. To his inside, going off 5th, Caden Honeycutt, the DQS Foundation for Pop Chevrolet. The North Carolina Governor's Highway Safety Program Chevrolet of Ross Chastain will take the green flag 4th. 3rd, point leader Corey Heim, the Safe Flight Foster Love Toyota. And now the front row on the outside, the Black's Tire Service Toyota for Tanner Gray. And on the pole for the first time in his career and just his 11th start on the Craftsman Truck Series, Gio Ruggiero in the First Auto Group Toyota. His speed 178.944 miles per hour.
And that's your starting lineup for the North Carolina Education Lottery 200.
Hey, I hear you think podcasts are all about true crime, huh? Well, wise guy, the iHeartRadio app's got all kinds of podcasts. We got stuff you should know and stuff they don't want you to know. We got Bobby Bones, Big Boy, and Lou Later. We got SpongeBob Binge Pants and Exotic Erotic Story Time. We got Doughboys, Two Dudes in a Kitchen, Green Eggs and Dan. Hey, we got Elf Quest. We got podcasts for everything on the iHeartRadio app for free. If you don't download that, well, that's not just a true crime, my friend. That's criminal.
Drivers, start your engines!
Your home for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Green flag goes in the air and we are underway.
On the NASCAR Racing Network.
2 by 2 by 2. They're about 10 rows deep of double wide racing. Taylor Gray to the bottom. Nick Sanchez outside, and they're crashing mid-pack.
It's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
Trucks are rolling off pit road. We're getting ready to get this race started here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
You're not going to want to miss tonight's county fair. I'm going to be...
We are your window to your community.
Did you see the last 5 minutes of that football game last night?
Oh, man, I saw the whole thing. And a lifeline to keep you safe when danger is near.
Everybody who is listening needs to take cover as soon as they can. This is one of the biggest storms.
We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress you depend on your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
And right now, Gio is learning about becoming calm in intense situations, and that's going to be pretty important here at Charlotte tonight. His crew chief, Jeremy Donnelly, told me he's a perfectionist, which in this sport will take you a long way. Let's see what that driver in the 17 truck can do. Brett McMillan.
Well, we all know that Charlotte is one of the most temperature-sensitive tracks on the circuit. That means that when you have the challenge of the trucks faced today, when they practice and qualified in the heat of the day, and now they run in the cool of the evening, it's a challenge. What the crew chiefs and the drivers tell me is the key is don't overreact in practice. Don't over-adjust. Understand that when the race starts, the track is going to loosen up. And try to remember that when you're practicing, and be ready for the adjustments now. Don't over-adjust in practice.
Thank you, Brett. Thank you very much, Andrew Curlin. Well, those are our two pit reporters here tonight. We have a couple of folks helping us call the play-by-play, lap-by-lap action. Starting off in turns 1 and 2 is Rob Albright.
You know, Brad, if you're sitting in the grandstands or if you're on the scissor lift with me, the bright orange scissor lift at the exit of turn number 2, and you look into the 24-degree banking of turns 1 and 2, it might appear to be smooth as a sheet of glass, but the drivers will tell you it ain't so. This old racetrack has begun to develop quite a few character bumps. Turns 1 and 2 can really upset your race truck if you're not up on the wheel and paying attention particularly early in this race. 24 degrees of banking in 1 and 2. Pretty smooth on the bottom, not so smooth middle and top. You hustle off turn number 2, suddenly the track drops off to just about 8 or 9 degrees of banking, and heading down that 1,300-foot-long back straightaway, it can get pretty tricky if you're not handling on that racetrack from the very time you exit that corner. Halfway down the back straightaway in front of the huge scoreboard that marks the TV side of the back straightaway, and I'll drop the call to one Pat Patterson.
All right, thank you, Rob. Happy race day, everybody. Yes, they'll be motoring down the backstretch as fast as they can go. When they get down to 3 and 4, you got 3 choices. Go to the bottom of the racetrack. There's no sticky stuff down there. There's not a lot of grip. If you got new tires, it works pretty good. If you're going to ride in the middle of the 3 and 4 down here, imagine yourself on a dirt road with a lot of holes and a lot of rocks and a lot of things to dodge. It will literally shake the mouthpiece out of your mouth. And if you go up to the 3rd lane here at 3 and 4 wide open well, you're probably going to introduce yourself to the safer barrier. You talk about tricky, this is tricky. 3 and 4 at Charlotte is a handful, and you got to get in here smoothly, avoid the bumps, and really manage your lap. We'll turn them loose and send them right back to the start-finish line. We'll be your eyes and ears all night long.
As they come out of turn number 4, they come on to the front stretch with a little left-hand turn before the start-finish line, one just after it. And where the backstretch is 1,500 feet, this is a little over 1,900 feet along the front stretch heading back to turn number 1. Tonight, stage number 1 will end at lap 30, stage 2 at lap 60, and then 74 laps to the 134 laps to make up the North Carolina Education Lottery 200. Pit road speed 45 miles per hour. They have just set their pit road speed there just a moment ago. The pace car will run 55 miles per hour with Eric Johnson behind the wheel. Rich Keeter is going to be the NASCAR starter tonight.
And the field this weekend here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, paced by the Toyota GR Supra pace car. Right now, it has its lights on, but Mark, that is about to change here in about 100 yards.
And they're getting the 1-to-go signal from Rich Keeter, and we are going to go racing here in just a moment. And again, a very interesting front of the pack. You have Gio Ruggiero, Tanner Gray, a couple of the top rookies, youngsters in this series up front. Behind them, 2 of the most proven winners we've got out here tonight. Corey Heim, Ross Chastain. Then you Caden Honeycutt, again, one of the up-and-coming younger drivers. Daniel Hemrick, the veteran, has already won this year. So it's kind of a nice mixture up front. Should be fun watching in the beginning of this race, watching Kyle Busch coming up from 12th, Stuart Friesen coming from the back of the pack.
Yeah, this is going to be very exciting. One thing we know for sure, Ross Chastain, one of the best restarters when it comes to NASCAR racing at a professional level. This, of course, the initial start of the race, and he knows also, as a veteran, Mark, as a winner on multiple levels of NASCAR, you also have to be patient. You have to know when to go.
Absolutely. He is one of 4 drivers that's about to take the green flag that has won here at Charlotte. Kyle Busch has 8 wins. Matt Crafton has won twice. Ross Chastain, the winner here in 2022. Ben Rhodes, our 2023 winner. So 4 drivers, 12 victories among them, about to take the green flag.
All right, Pat Patterson, a beautiful night to go racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. What are they looking like?
All right, let's set up this top 5 rows here as they make their way into turn 3. Row 5 is Jake Garcia to the outside and Chandler Smith. Row number 4, it'll be Rajah Caruth and Lane Riggs. Row 3, we're looking at Daniel Hemrick and Caden Honeycutt. Row 2, Ross Chastain alongside Corey Heim. And up front, getting ready to start, Tanner Gray and Gio Ruggiero. Fans are on the feet. We're about to start the 600 NASCAR weekend right now in Charlotte.
Crowd is on its feet. Pace car is on pit road. For the first time in his career, Gio Ruggiero will lead the field to the green flag. It is out now at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The North Carolina Education Lottery 200 underway. Ruggiero has the lead in turn 1.
Gio gets the jump like a veteran, one that he is not yet, but he's on his way tonight. He runs the bottom lane. He'll lead them into turn number 2. Following in his tire tracks, Corey Heim bolts to the second position. They're off the corner.
Corey Heim takes a look to the outside. Now they're up against the wall as they work their way down the backstretch. Ruggiero, here comes on Chandler Smith on the bottom. Tanner Gray making an aggressive move now, right to the second, and it's Heim moving up front.
Battle was door-to-door for second, but Corey Heim from the outside goes around Tanner Gray. That opens up the inside for Ross Chastain. Now they're 2 by 2 for the lead.
Side by side for the front row, side by side behind them. Bottom of the racetrack still belongs to Gio Ruggiero. Corey Heim will race him door to door off turn number 2, and they'll be dead even halfway down the backstretch.
And that's the way they're going to race into turn 3 now, coming around for the second lap. Bottom of the racetrack, Ruggiero holds on to that position. Heim works the outside. They're still locked together, all 4.
Ruggiero led the first lap by inches. Will he do it again? The answer is yes. Corey Heim at the line does not quite get the lead. Chastain looks like has taken over third.
Gio will drive hard into turn number 1, trying to recapture the lead. He will not get it done. Corey Heim will lead into the corner to the top of the racetrack. Ross Chastain would like second. Now he settles up behind Gio.
Chastain's going to get a move to the inside now. He's going to challenge for that second spot as he works his way into turn 3. Here comes the Melon Man right to the bumper of the leader. He'll be challenging Heim, all 4.
Chastain claimed that second spot. Tanner Gray tried to make it another pick. He tried to go for third. He had to back out of it. Now Daniel Hemrick drives to the inside of Tanner Gray as they head to 1.
Suddenly those 2 youngsters who started in the top 5 but found their way to the back of that top 5. 3 veterans going after it up front. I have to say that, but Ruggiero's still hanging on tight. He's in that third spot right on the back bumper of Chastain.
Up front, Corey Heim now into turn 3. Only 1 truck link separates first and second. Chastain takes a look to the outside. Can he make a move? Not going to be able to do it this time. Goes right up against the wall.
Chastain tried to squeeze in there, and now with Heim trying to throw a block, Heim can't do it. He leaves the outside open for Chastain.
Wow, 3 trucks tied together. 5 car lengths ahead of the 4th place car, which continues to be Tanner Gray. Off to turn number 2. Heim has the lead, but here comes Ross.
Ross Chastain now wants to lead this race early. Goes to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to take it away from Corey Heim. Heim stays on the top side of the racetrack. It's Chastain with the lead, all 4.
Ross Chastain all by himself now out of turn number 4. This time by, we will complete lap number 5. Corey Heim, though, not giving that up. He challenges to the inside.
Corey, not always a strong qualifier, but he's running his way back to the front. He gets even with Chastain. Now tries to slide up in front of Ross off turn number 2. They'll be side by side down the back stretch.
That's the way they stay, door handle to door handle. Into turn number 3. Heim on the bottom in that white and blue truck. To the outside, it's the Melon Man. He's got those colors working high on the racetrack. Slips up the track just a little bit in 4.
Chastain got loose, but the door is still up on the outside. He goes past Heim at the start-finish line. He'll lead the lap. Gio Ruggiero's right there. Top 3 run under a blanket.
Gio getting a little bit of an education. 2 more experienced drivers run right in front of him, but he's hanging right pace with them. Off of turn number 2, Chastain, half a truck length over Heim.
All that racing with those top 3 now. Daniel Hemrick has managed to catch this group. We're going to have a 4-way battle for this top 4 positions here. Once again, Chastain up front, all 4.
We're only 7 laps in. They're racing like it's 7 to go. Ross Chastain enjoys just a 1 truck length lead over Corey Heim. Gio Ruggiero still a part of this picture. Daniel Hemrick coming up in 4th.
Daniel Hemrick in that 4th position. Started 6, picked up a couple of spots. Here comes to the bottom of the racetrack, Corey Heim. He'll give the outside to Chastain. Ross will set the pace.
A little further back, no big surprise. Lane Riggs starting to work his way to the front. He's getting up there to chase Hemrick. Meanwhile, 2 trucks separate first and second. Chastain on the top.
Caden Honeycutt now making a move for the 6th position that's being held down by Tanner Gray. Honeycutt to the inside. He'll grab the spot. Now Chandler Smith moves in.
After starting on the outside of the front row, Tanner Gray losing some spots. Back up front, 2 cars have separated themselves now. It's Chastain, the race leader, 2 truck lengths back to Himes.
Watching Caden Honeycutt there, slip right in behind Smith, or Tanner Gray, as they work their way down the backstretch. Here comes Chandler Smith on the move. Going to go to the bottom of the racetrack and try to pick a spot up. Middle of turns 3 and 4. Can't quite get it done.
Chandler Smith, last week's winner at North Wilkesboro Speedway, does grab a position up in front of them now. Side-by-side battle for the 4th spot. Lane Riggs on the inside of Daniel Hemrick.
Painted in his alma mater's colors of green and gold. Lane Riggs will take that 4th position. He just recently graduated from University of North Carolina at Charlotte. He's like to run a race tonight.
Yeah, Riggs has got the 4th spot. First 2 are separated, 1st and 2nd, by about 6 truck lengths now, as Chastain has control of that. Daniel Hemrick runs in that 5th spot now.
Great battle for 6th. Again, Tanner Gray has taken over that spot. Caden Honeycutt, a big push, allowed them to get by Chandler Smith. Now Honeycutt goes back after Gray in turn 1.
Cade will drop to the bottom of the racetrack. Left side tires against the white line. Now he drifts up the banking in turn number 2. Will take over that spot. Right behind him is a Tanner Gray machine and then Chandler Smith.
Yeah, Tanner Gray's got a mirror full of Chandler Smith right now. He's going to start working to the top. Meanwhile, who's this guy? Here comes Kyle Busch trying to catch battle in the top 5.
Kyle Busch right now running in the 9th spot. We've completed 11 laps, 19 to go in stage number 1 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
We're at the start-finish line.
William Byron on pole position. Green flag is out and we're racing.
We're in the turn.
Here to the inside comes Kyle Larson. He and Hamlin bump.
We're on pit road.
4-tire Sunoco Racing Fuel. The race up from pit road is Denny Hamlin. Eric Jones goes off second.
We are live from the track. The Motor Racing Network, your home for NASCAR racing. Don't miss a lap, pit stop, or side-by-side race for the win. Listen to all the play-by-play action on your local radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com.
This is Kyle Larson.
I'm David Grau.
Hi, I'm Donnie Shaw.
This is Brian Brown.
This is Danny D.
Wing Nation is your go-to destination for all the latest sprint car news and interviews from the stars of sprint car racing from around the country. This is Steve Post. Aaron Evernham, Ashley Strummy, and I will have all the latest news, insights, and conversations on Wing Nation's YouTube or Facebook pages, or listen and download and subscribe to Wing Nation on any podcast platform.
Wing Nation.
Wing Nation.
Wing Nation.
Wing Nation.
Wing Nation. All sprint cars, all the time.
Ross Chastain continues to lead after 13 laps complete. He just put Justin Carroll and Frankie Muniz a lap down. Stage 1 goes to lap 30. Tonight's coverage brought to you by Sunoco. From NASCAR to your car, Sunoco fuels peak performance. From Charlotte Motor Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
On Thursdays, NASCAR Live goes wide open with some of the biggest names in the sport.
The goal is the same, so the mindset's the same. All right, the goal is to win the championship.
And some familiar voices that you might not have heard from in a while.
You know, I thought about going to one of these teams because I'd really like to win the 500.
I never planned any of this to start with, right from the very beginning.
No matter what driver or what era is your favorite, NASCAR Live Wide Open has every corner of the fan base covered. Subscribe now wherever you listen to podcasts.
Local radio brings people together like never before.
It's a beautiful hometown weekend out there. We've got
your local stations keep you informed and involved with music, talk shows, and real-time news updates you can trust. We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters, connecting you to what matters most. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress to support your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Battle for the lead in turn number 2.
Ross Chastain lost the lead momentarily to Corey Heim last time by. This time around, Chastain retook it, and off turn number 2, back to Heim.
That is some really good racing between these two. Now Chastain really kind of drifts back, probably about 5 or 6 truck lengths, working his way up to the top of the wall. Leader is Corey Heim, all 4.
For the third time tonight, Corey Heim leads at Charlotte Motor Speedway as we pause 10 seconds for station identification on the NASCAR Racing Network.
He started 12th, just past Chandler Smith to move into the 7th position. Now Kyle Busch is going after Daniel Hemrick. He quickly disposes of Hemrick in turn number 3. So now move him up to the 6th position. Kyle Busch on the move early on as we go down to Brett McMillan.
A couple updates from my end to pit road, Mark. First of all, Chandler Smith right now said that turn 4 is his trouble spot. He's pretty good at 1 and 2, but he's going to need some help at the other end of the track. And they're trying to tell Grant Enfinger to move up the track. They said you can go about a truck width higher than you're running right now.
Thank you very much. Chandler Smith been the one dominating short tracks. He won Bristol. He won North Wilkesboro. Corey Heim dominating the mile-and-a-half tracks. Mark, Las Vegas, Texas Motor Speedway, a couple of his 3 wins this year.
So Chandler Smith good right now. Corey Heim a little better. We'll see how this thing plays out throughout the night. We are 10 laps away now from the end of stage number 1 in the North Carolina Education Lottery 200. Corey Heim the leader. Ross Chastain is second. Lane Riggs third. Gio Ruggiero, the pole sitter, is fourth. Fifth, Caden Honeycutt. Kyle Busch from 12th to 6th. 7th, Daniel Hemrick. Chandler Smith 8th. 9th, Ty Majeski. Raja Caruth in 10th.
Matt Mills running 11th. Tanner Gray is in 12th. Jake Garcia 13th. Andres Perez de Lara 14th. Grant Enfinger 15th. 16th is Brandon Jones. Ben Rhodes up to 17th. Stephen Parsons is 18th. Matt Crafton 19th. Parker Kligerman runs 20th.
Then in 21st, Tyler Ankrum. Dawson Sutton is 22nd. Connor Mozak 23rd. Stuart Friesen 24th. Timmy Hill 25th. Jack Wood 26th. Luke Fenhouse 27th. BJ McLeod 28th. 29th, Spencer Boyd 30th. Tony Breidinger.
Mason Maggio runs in the 31st spot right now. Running in 32nd is Cody Dennison. Frankie Muniz 33rd. And Justin Carroll is 34th.
That leaderboard update brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Straight Talk Wireless, the official partner of NASCAR. Fans of fast get real unlimited data on reliable 5G with no contracts or hidden fees. Now at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Straight Talk Wireless.
Corey Heim is pulled away now, 1.2 seconds over Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain now backing up to Lane Riggs. About 5 truck lengths separate the two.
Lane Riggs told us in the pre-race show he thought he had the best long-run truck, and he's proving that he does have a very good one. 5 car lengths now, 4 behind Ross Chastain in that fight for second off turn 2.
What's most impressive about Riggs is, man, he is working the wall. That is how he is caught up to all of these guys, and right now he's going right up next to it, almost what we like to call the Larson lane, to try to catch Chastain on 4.
All right, so Lane Riggs now coming around, still about 6 truck lengths off the tailgate of Ross Chastain as we go back to pit road and Andrew Curlin.
Yeah, with 7 laps to go on the stage, there's a lot of comers and goers. Tanner Gray started second. He's all the way back to the 12th position. I checked in with this team. He's fighting tight really bad, so expect them to come in and make some adjustments this first pit stop.
So again, watching the progress of Stuart Friesen, started in the back because of the problems he had mechanically in qualifying. He's moved up to the 24th position. Tyler Ankrum on the move. He's up to 20th.
Yeah, Tyler Ankrum doing a great job here. Again, back to victory lane this year after a 100-race winless drought. And McAnally Hilgeman Racing showing a lot of strength with 2 of their trucks in victory lane. Also winning this year was Daniel Hemrick. Hemrick is currently running in the 7th spot. We look at Corey Heim, Mark, and once he got back out front, I mentioned just 2 laps ago he was 1.2 seconds ahead. This time by, it'll be 5 to go in stage number 1. He now has a 2-second lead over Ross Chastain, who seems to be holding that spot right now in second over Lane Riggs.
Top 3 have broken away. You 2 seconds back to Chastain and Riggs, 5 seconds. Now make that 6. Back to Caden Honeycutt, 6.5 to Ruggiero. So Corey Heim right now not only is running quick, but has it in cruise control. Looks like he's on the way to another stage win.
Yeah, it does. Corey Heim now running through 3 and 4. He's about to hit the front straightaway. As we look back behind them, Pat, you were talking about Kyle Busch making a move. How's he looking out there?
Well, he's just now coming off the wall here in turn 4, bearing down on Gio Ruggiero.
All right, so coming off of turn number 4, here he comes. Kyle Busch now about a truck length off the tailgate of Gio Ruggiero as they head to 1.
As the run goes on, it gets more and more difficult to pass. Kyle Busch will drop to the bottom of the racetrack. Aero sensitivity on all of these trucks. He'll try to slide up in front of Gio off turn 2. He does it, but Gio doesn't like it.
Kyle Busch had a really bad practice session. I mean, they couldn't get that truck to run at all. Right now, he's out in front of Gio Ruggiero, and they have obviously found the speed he needed tonight.
3 laps to go here in stage number 1 for this Craftsman Truck Series race at Charlotte. Again, Heim showing the way.
Chastain now has utilized the lane that Lane Riggs used to run him down. That means that Lane is no longer gaining. In fact, Pat, he's losing ground to the second-place truck.
Yeah, just a bit, but not that much. Is watch again a little further back. Watching Kyle Busch continue trying to march forward now, as he's got quite a few truck lengths he's going to get before he's ever going to catch up to the 45 of Caden Honeycutt.
Yeah, that's going to be tough with 2 laps to go. Pit road is closed now for stage number 1, but Kyle Busch, an impressive move to the front as he's now running in the top 5.
We'll watch him in his continued quest toward the front of the pack, about a half straightaway, or a half lap, I should say, behind the race leader, Corey Heim. He now charges off turn number 2 and will head down the backstretch.
Down the backstretch they come as we watch the leader, Heim. He'll pull off the turn 4 now and head back to start-finish. No real pass opportunity for anybody in this first 5 or 6 trucks.
Corey Heim in cruise control with 1 lap left in stage number 1.
We'll follow Corey around on his last lap to the green and white checkered flag. Hopefully he's just got a half lap to go off turn number 2. Nobody contend with. Trying to stay on the lead lap in front of him is Spencer Boyd.
Corey Heim and company just keep doing it. Every week they keep doing it. They keep winning stages. Last week they almost won the race. Here he comes off turn 4 to get another stage win.
For the 7th time this year, Corey Heim will win a stage as he wins stage number 1 in the North Carolina Education Lottery 200. Running behind him, Ross Chastain will finish 2nd in stage 1, followed by Lane Riggs in 3rd. Then it's Caden Honeycutt, Kyle Busch rounding out the top 5. Gio Ruggiero, your pole winner, will finish 6th. Daniel Hemrick 7th. 8th will be Chandler Smith.
Got a caution out. Tony Breidinger, she bumped into the wall over here in 3 and 4. She's trying to get her truck out of harm's way. Everybody's dodging her, so thank goodness that's right when the stage ended.
Yeah, for sure. That caution also coming out for the end of stage number 1, finishing out the top 10. Ty Majeski and Matt Mills here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
There will always be more leaves, weeds, and yard debris. And when they show up, tackle yard cleanup with the Craftsman V20 Brushless RP Outdoor lineup. Delivering more runtime and better performance, the Craftsman V20 Brushless RP lineup of outdoor products will help you cut, trim, and blow through whatever your yard throws at you. Your grass, no problem. Overgrown hedges, not anymore. A neighbor who won't stop distracting you with weather talk? Well, you're on your own there. But for everything else, head to Craftsman.com. Craftsman, build on. See Craftsman.com for details.
We are the voice of NASCAR.
The green flag is in the air, and we are underway. The Great American Race.
The Motor Racing Network. NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, and Craftsman Truck Series Racing live on your hometown radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com. Martinsville, Talladega, the Chicago Street Course. We have the side-by-side action and last lap passes for the win.
Photo finishes. Ryan Blaney will win.
The voice of NASCAR, the Motor Racing Network.
Field in tow behind the Toyota GR Super Pace car. Pit road will remain closed when they come back. We'll have pit stops, then they'll head to the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. Echo Park Automotive, every car, happy owner. From Charlotte Motor Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Inspiring story.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. comes back to the Daytona International Speedway. He will win the Pepsi 400.
I'm just the pilot, man. You know, I just want everybody to be happy. I want to do good, and hopefully all of my dad's fans enjoyed this. This for all them.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast Junior's Journey. Jeff Gordon, a colorful career, 50 years of MRN, the 1993 season, the road to royalty, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver.
and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
So we've had 3 leaders, 3 lead changes in stage number 1 of the North Carolina Education Lottery 200 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Mark Garrett with Brad Gilley, along with Raw Ball Bright, Pat Patterson in the turns, and 2 guys about to get busy on pit road in just a moment, Andrew Curlin and Brett McMillan. A very competitive race early on, and then Corey Heim grabbed the lead and just kind of eased out from there, but a lot of good racing throughout the rest of the field.
Yeah, for sure. Pit road's going to remain closed. He'll take another lap around. Time to talk about Craftsman. Who's getting it done, Mark? Your yard isn't overgrown. It's ripe with potential. Conquer whatever it throws at you with the Craftsman V20 brushless RP outdoor lineup. More runtime, better performance, and fewer frustrations. See craftsman.com for details. Mark, who's getting it done so far?
Honorable mention to Kyle Busch, Caden Honeycutt, Lane Riggs, and Ross Chastain. However, Corey Heim has now led 20 of the first 33 laps of this race. He has 7 stage wins. Nobody else has more than 2. I believe that's kind of getting the job done right there.
Yeah, when Corey Heim got passed initially by Ross Chastain, he didn't let him go. They traded the lead a couple of times. But then, when Chastain passed him, he never drove away. Heim settled in, waited for his opportunity, then took it, then drove away. I would say he is definitely our Craftsman getting it done early in this race, Mark. We're about to find out what pit crews are getting it done. Right now, the red light is still on, but that GR Supra halfway down the back straightaway, and pit road is going to be open now this time by, so that green light is going to go on, and we'll see how busy it gets with these trucks.
Making major repairs to the right front of Tony Breidinger's Toyota there on pit road after she hit the wall right when they threw the yellow flag at the end of stage number 1. That was kind of wild that happened at that particular point. So again, with Corey Heim leading them down the pit lane. Again, our pit road speed tonight, 45 miles per hour. Here's Heim peeling off. Let's go to Andrew Curlin.
Yes, and the floodgates have opened. A lot of trucks on pit road, including Lane Riggs, who was tight in dirty air. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment to help in. Gio Ruggiero, center, tight, snappy, loose off. And then in front of me, Ross Chastain started loose and ended really tight, Brett McMillan.
Well, we're waiting for Corey Heim to come in. He said he was pretty neutral, except towards the end of that run. He said he got a little bit loose in 1 and 2. He was a little snug at 3 and 4, but they're going to make him a little bit snugger for 1 and 2. So they're giving him a chassis adjustment, 4 tire change. Also in Grant Infinger, he said he lost the front end towards the end of that run. They're going to give him an air pressure adjustment. Corey Heim away, 15.3 second stop for him.
And coming off the pit lane, Caden Honeycutt did not take on tires. He will lead them off pit road, followed by Corey Himes, Lane Riggs, Kyle Busch, Gio Ruggiero, and Ross Chastain. We'll have more from Charlotte right after this.
So I just switched to Straight Talk Wireless.
Uh-oh, we just ran out of gas.
Great, gives us time to watch the race.
You know the next town is 50 miles away, right?
Don't worry, I have real unlimited data now.
But how are we going to get out of here?
We got about 200 laps before we need to figure that out.
Get a free 5G phone with select plans and real unlimited data only for a limited time at Straight Talk. Available at your local Walmart and straighttalk.com. Straight Talk is an official partner of NASCAR. Taxes and fees apply. Require single line activation on a qualifying plan for network management practices with straighttalk.com. Copyright 2025 Verizon. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC.
Looking for weekly motorsports podcasts to stay up to date on what's happening on and off the track? The Motor Racing Network is the place. Hear from NASCAR crew chiefs on MRN Crew Call. All the happenings from regional touring series and local tracks on NASCAR Coast to Coast. Sprint Car Talk on Winged Nation. NASCAR history on MRN Classic Races. And hear from the drivers on NASCAR Live. MRN podcasts available on MRN.com, YouTube, or your favorite podcast platform.
From Charlotte Motor Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Good morning, guys. I just want to warn you, traffic is tough out there.
We are here for you to tell you how to keep safe.
Everybody who is listening needs to take cover as soon as they can.
To provide the music, talk, and sports you love. And to deliver the news that matters to you. We are the voices you can trust. We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress you depend on your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Want to know the latest with short track racing around the country? Well, one show has you covered. NASCAR Coast to Coast. Hi, I'm Kyle Rickey. Join Chris Wilner and I each week as we break down the biggest headlines in grassroots racing and in NASCAR's regional and touring series. We also talk to rising stars from your favorite short track. That's NASCAR Coast to Coast. Watch or listen today on YouTube, Facebook, MRN.com, or your favorite podcast platform.
Contrary to the information we were given, Corey Heim took on 4 tires, comes out second. Caden Honeycutt leapfrogs up into that number 1 spot. Again, we're about to start stage number 2 of the North Carolina Education Lottery 200 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Race number 11 of the 18 that make up the regular season for the Craftsman Truck Series. So let's give you the rundown. Honeycutt Heim 1-2, Lane Riggs 3rd, 4th is Kyle Busch, Gio Ruggiero 5th, 6th Ross Chastain, Ty Majeski 7th, 8th Daniel Hemrick, Chandler Smith 9th, 10th Raja Caruth.
Grant Enfinger runs in 11th, 12th is Brandon Jones, Matt Mills is 13th, 14th is Andres Perez de Lara, except he's going to have to drop to the back. Crew members over the wall too soon for him. Running in 15th right now, Tanner Gray, Jake Garcia 16th, 17th is Matt Crafton, 18th Tyler Ankrum, Stuart Friesen 19th, and Ben Rhodes is 20th.
Parker Kligerman 21st, 22nd Stephen Parsons, Jack Wood 23rd, 24th Dawson Sutton, 25th Connor Mozak, Spencer Boyd 26th with BJ McLeod 27th, 28th Timmy Hill, Luke Fenhouse 29th, 30th Mason Maggio.
Cody Dennison running 31st, 32nd Frankie Muniz, he's 2 laps down, Justin Carroll, also Tony Breidinger, who actually hit the wall in turn number 4 as the caution was coming out for the end of stage number 1.
So again, Corey Heim, who has been lights out most of the time on the 1.5-mile racetracks for the Craftsman Truck Series, had a very good opening stage. Let's see if perhaps he can continue that for the rest of the night, but the field is going to tighten up behind him, and here comes the Jaws music, Kyle Busch. Again, 8 times he's won on the Craftsman Truck Series here at Charlotte.
All right, so we have Chevy with Caden Honeycutt. He took 4 tires. Corey Heim in a Toyota took 4. Lane Riggs in a Ford. That's your top 3. Took 4 tires. One thing worth pointing out, too, Mark, Kyle Busch drives for Spire Motorsports. Spire Motorsports truck program is the former Kyle Busch Motorsports. While Spire did run trucks before they acquired Kyle Busch Motorsports, the DNA of that truck program at Spire Motorsports is all KBM, and it's great to see him out there running with this.
Kyle Busch certainly enjoys running the Craftsman Truck Series races. He's had a lot of success. And you look at what he's done here at Charlotte. I mean, 19 times he's gone to victory lane, has 1 win on the Cup Series, has 9 Xfinity Series victories here on this 1.5-mile track, and as we just mentioned, 8 for the pickup trucks.
By the way, tough luck for Stuart Friesen, who actually had to start toward the back of the pack. They had an issue with the truck shutting off in qualifying. He worked his way a little bit up into the field. Well, he's just going to restart at the back again. Uncontrolled tire for Stuart Friesen. Same goes for Matt Mills. He'll restart at the tail of the field. And we mentioned Andres Perez de Lara. Crew members over the wall too soon. He will go to the back of the field, Mark.
So that's the setup as the lights are off. The Toyota Supra pace car. And we're about to go racing again. They tighten up in front of Pat Patterson.
Yep, lights are off, and up front you got Caden Honeycutt lined up there with Corey Heim. Right behind him, Kyle Busch. He's going to be right beside Lane Riggs. Pace car is going to head to the pit road. The good old Charlotte fans are on their feet, and we're ready to restart.
Great crowd here tonight at Charlotte. They're about to enjoy a run through the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. On the inside, it's Caden Honeycutt. He gets the jump on Chandler Smith. Smith, however, Corey Heim, Heim gets way into the gas. He's going to be hung door to door as they head to one.
Caden Honeycutt finished a very quiet fourth in stage one, but proving he's got a strong race car. He'll lead the pack off turn number 2. Slides right up in front of the second place car. The guy who led most of stage one, Corey Heim.
Corey Heim's going to look to his left now all of a sudden, and he's going to see Kyle Busch's nose right down below him. He wants that second spot. Is Honeycutt with the lead off 4.
Kyle Busch digging hard on the bottom of the racetrack. He fades up the racetrack. He almost makes contact with Corey Heim. Now he gets a bump from behind from Ross Chastain to move into second.
Kyle Busch was a 20th place truck in practice, qualified 12th. Now he finds himself already battling for the race lead off turn number 2, side by side with Honeycutt, who gets a shove from Heim.
Wow, almost 3 wide there for a minute. Honeycutt getting shoved into the corner by Heim. Kyle Busch has got his hands full with the Melon Man for that 4th spot.
Busch backed out, but then he chopped off the nose of Ross Chastain, almost sent him onto the apron. This is a side-by-side battle for 3rd. Chastain didn't like that move. He's going to try and take the spot from Busch.
Chastain, who led a number of laps in stage number 1, had a relatively slow pit stop, came out 6th. Now he'll take the 3rd spot away from Kyle Busch as they charge off turn 2.
All 3 of those guys, Honeycutt, Chastain, and Busch, fired their best shot they could at the number 11. And now he's up front, and he is leading the way off of turns 3 and 4.
Here's a new name at the front of the pack tonight. Ty Majeski, the reigning Craftsman Truck Series champion, just moved by Daniel Hemrick. Behind Hemrick now, Gio Ruggiero, Lane Riggs tangling.
Ahead of them, a fight now and shapes up for the 2nd position. Looks like it won't be a battle for very long. Ross Chain has got it. Now he'll set his sights on Corey Heim as the guy who finished 1-2 in stage 1 run there again.
Good battle right behind them. Majeski and that Soda Sense machine trying to hold off the Napa know-how of Daniel Hemrick at the bottom of the racetrack. Hemrick, they'll go door to door off 4.
That's a battle for 5th. Daniel Hemrick on the inside of Ty Majeski. He has to back it out. Now here comes Lane Riggs. He gets on the tailgate of Ty Majeski, goes around Daniel Hemrick for 6.
Riggs did not have the greatest of restarts, working his way back toward the front once again. He'll race side by side off turn number 2. He's on the bottom. Up on the top side is Majeski.
Yep, Majeski holds him off momentarily. Riggs, once again, he wants that top lane. That is where his truck has been the fastest so far tonight. Battle for 2nd once again on 4.
Caden Honeycutt on the bottom, up to the top side. Ross Chastain. Chastain with a half truck length advantage at the line. They're back in turn 1.
Into turn number 1, Ross Chastain will battle his teammate, but the teammate gets the better of him. He'll now go after Corey Heim for the race lead. Honeycutt on the bottom, Heim on the top, side by side.
Wow, they got all 4 of them. You can throw a blanket over the top of them. They go 2 by 2 now into 3 and 4. Bottom of the racetrack is Honeycutt. He's got the better of Heim now. Here comes Kyle Busch right behind this group.
And that JBMotorsports back out front. Caden Honeycutt taking the lead from Corey Heim. Now the battle is for 3rd. Kyle Busch on the inside of Chastain.
Busch will try the bottom lane. He'll go all the way to the bottom. Left side tires against the white line that marks the apron of the racetrack. Chastain all the way to the very top. Side by side for 3rd.
Too bad you're not here. This is great mile-and-a-half racing now. Watching this battle up front. Heim is under attack once again by Honeycutt. They go to the bottom of the racetrack. Heim holds it on.
As they work their way out of turn number 4. Here is Corey Heim leading Caden Honeycutt. Then it's Chastain. Kyle Busch under heavy pressure now from Lane Riggs.
6 trucks running right together into turn number 1. Corey Heim now stretches it to a 3-truck length advantage over the 2nd place truck. That's Caden Honeycutt. 3 more back to Chastain, and then 3 cars battling for 4th.
Kyle Busch is really racy back here in that number 7 as he goes to work on Lane Riggs. Bottom of the racetrack, that's where Busch goes. Can't quite pull it off. They're almost going to be 3 wide off 4.
Can Busch get a twofer? He gets around Lane Riggs, now right door to door with Ross Chastain. Kyle Busch on the inside of this battle as they head to 1.
4 trucks literally under a blanket for that 3rd position. Kyle Busch has got it into turn 1. Chastain slipped way up high, maybe lost a little bit of traction in the middle of the corner. 3rd now belongs to Kyle Busch.
Oh, Ty Majeski with a nice move. He slides up in front of Riggs, holds on to that spot. They'll go single file into 3 and 4. Bottom of the racetrack, Majeski is stalking Chastain hard as he can.
13 laps left in stage number 2 of the Craftsman Truck Series race here at Charlotte. Corey Heim, your leader over Caden Honeycutt and Ross Chastain.
Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now, there's all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. So try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co., LLC, used with permission.
The thrills of NASCAR racing from over 55 years of Motor Racing Network broadcasts.
Bobby Allison brings the race car right down in the middle of the track, crosses the start-finish line, and he will win the 24th annual Daytona 500.
Bill Elliott wins the Hooters 500. Alan Kulwicki, 1992 champion.
MRN Classic Races.
In the whole pack, steaming for the finish line, Dale Earnhardt wins a Winston 500.
Find all the classic moments on MRN Classic Races on any podcast platform.
Corey Heim continues to lead Caden Honeycutt, Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain. Now Ty Majeski in the top 5. Tonight's broadcast from Charlotte brought to you by Sunoco. From NASCAR to your car, Sunoco fuels peak performance. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Hey, I hear you think podcasts are all about true crime, huh? Well, wise guy, the iHeartRadio app's got all kinds of podcasts. We got stuff you should know and stuff they don't want you to know. We got Bobby Bones, Big Boy, and Lou Later. We got SpongeBob Binge Pants and Exotic Erotic Story Time. We got Doughboys, Two Dudes in the Kitchen, Green Eggs and Dan. Hey, we got Elf Quest. We got podcasts for everything on the iHeartRadio app for free. If you don't download that, well, that's not just a true crime, my friend. That's criminal.
Don't miss a moment of the NASCAR season.
Chastain drove it and never lifted. Put it against the safer barrier and all the way around the turn. Passes Denny Hamlin.
Check out the Motor Racing Network's coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and the NASCAR Cup Series on hundreds of local radio stations around the country. Find your local station by going to MRN.com to catch the excitement of NASCAR on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the North Carolina Education Lottery 200 and potential problems for Lane Riggs. He may have lost a gear. Just saw a bunch of front row racing crew members running to the garage. So they're going to see what they can do this upcoming pit stop because there seems to be a little bit of trouble on that number 34 truck.
At full song, though, he is okay. He just passed Ty Majeski again to take over that 5th spot once again.
Yeah, that could be tough when they go through the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone, which is going to happen in short order, Mark. We only have 7 laps to go here in stage number 2. But here's the other trouble for Lane Riggs. If you lost a gear, maybe it's 2nd gear, maybe it's 3rd. Obviously, he's running really hard in 4th gear. These are 4-speed trucks here. But if one gear went bad somewhere along the way, what does that mean for the rest of that transmission potentially?
A lot of times with that H pattern, things start to fall in and chip away, and eventually the whole thing goes to pieces. So we certainly hope for Lane Riggs he can hold on, and he will have to, on these restarts, he will lose ground, but he's going to have to be very gingerly in the way he handles these starts. He can't be ramming and jamming on that shifter, otherwise could be even bigger problems.
Well, this will be very important, too, when it comes to the choose, because if Lane Riggs is in front of you, your spotter's going to need to know that and know where Lane Riggs is going. That may be a lane that you don't want to be in because it might get held up. Corey Heim continues to dominate as he crosses the start-finish line. 5 to go in stage number 2. Caden Honeycutt, Kyle Busch, Lane Riggs, and Ross Chastain mark the top 5.
And here's the problem if you're trying to track down Corey Heim. The last 3 laps, he's been the fastest truck out there, and he is just pulling away. And even though he's a young driver, very mature driver, the one thing that's scary about what he's doing right now is the fact that he's not using all of his truck. You know he's not using all of it, and yet he's pulling away.
Yeah, there's a point, we saw it in stage number 1, where Corey Heim gets out to about a 2-second lead. That's where he is right now. and then he holds it. And that says a lot about what this veteran driver can do. And we know Corey Heim running several Cup races this year, running a handful of Xfinity races this year. His future is bright in
Trouble,
NASCAR.
we just had a couple trucks get together. Rob, you want to kind of look at your end. Parker Kligerman got sideways over there, and we got somebody that's either got a tire rub or smoking coming right at you.
And Pat, that actually started one lap ago. Parker Kligerman, two other cars battling for position. Matt Mills was one of them, along with Tanner Gray, getting around a lap truck, got together, and still a lot of smoke. And you're in now, Pat.
Yeah, watching them back down here again, there's the smoke's kind of dissipated off of that, but that was a really tight battle with Parker Kligerman right in the middle of it.
Watching a strong battle right now for 11th. Grant Engfinger, Rajah Caruth, Matt Crafton, Tyler Ankrum, they're in 1.
And those are drivers that have just labored there right outside the top 10 all evening long. They're now moving off of turn number 2. Caruth with a mirror full of Crafton.
Yeah, Crafton in that usual colors of his, those Menard colors, as he works down here turning 3 and 4. Trying to look to the outside now of Rajah Caruth off of 4.
Pit road is closed as we have 2 laps to go in stage number 1. The leader coming off of 2, Rob.
Man, is this going fast or what? Corey Heim now back down the back straightaway. Pat, literally nobody within a quarter of a mile.
Yeah, Corey Heim is having it his way tonight in the 11 down to turns 3 and 4. He goes, hugging the bottom of the racetrack now. The rest of the field just trying to catch up to be able to see him.
An instant replay of stage number 1. Corey Heim cruising away from the field, wins stage number 2 in the North Carolina Education Lottery 200, his 8th stage win in 2025.
Still 1 lap to go here in stage number 2 as Corey Heim leading the field around the way. Stephen Parsons.
Tanner Gray just got in the wall over here, guys. I don't think it's going to bring out a caution, but he's working his way underneath you right now.
Tanner Gray now coming across the start-finish line, heavily underpowered, but Corey Heim now comes across the start-finish line. He will win stage number 2 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Caden Honeycutt comes home in 2nd. 3rd is Kyle Busch. Lane Riggs is 4th. 5th is Ross Chastain. Ty Majeski is going to take actually 7th. Daniel Hemrick passed him at the line. Move Hemrick up to 6th in stage number 2. Gio Ruggiero finishes 8th. Chandler Smith 9th. And Grant Enfinger rounds out the top 10.
Kyle Larson brings his Chevy in 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does. All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR.
You stop here for Ryan Blaney, 4 tires with Sunoco fuel.
From the track to your tank, you can trust Sunoco to help your vehicle perform at its peak.
Drivers, start your engines!
Your home for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Green flag goes in the air and we are underway.
On the NASCAR Racing Network.
2 by 2 by 2. They're about 10 rows deep of double-wide racing. Taylor Gray to the bottom. Nick Sanchez outside, and they're crashing mid-pack.
It's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
Working the second caution here for the end of the stage, but we've had incidents on the racetrack. Tony Breidinger wrecked right at the end of stage number 1. Here at the end of stage 2, Stephen Parsons has some issues. He's on pit road. Parker Kligerman had some damage. Tanner Gray also some damage on his truck. Pit road is still closed. We'll come back with stage 2 pit stops from Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
NASCAR history.
Petty wins his 200th career NASCAR victory.
Told by the people who made that history.
President Reagan was there. He got us on the front page, and we got him in the sports page. It was a good trade-off from that standpoint.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast The Road to Royalty. Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, 50 Years of MRN, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
After a devastating storm that brings down trees and homes, so many families have nowhere to turn. That's why Samaritan's Purse responds immediately after hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, and fires all across the country. Our volunteer teams bring tools and compassion to homeowners who have lost not only possessions, but more importantly, hope. You can help. Join with Samaritan's Purse. Log on to samaritanspurse.org.
We'll see if pit road opens this time in the stage number 2 break. Right now, the field midway down the back straightaway behind the Toyota GR Supra pace car mark, and looks like it might stay closed another lap.
For the third time this season, Corey Heim has won both stages in a race at Homestead, Martinsville, but he lost those events to Kyle Larson and Daniel Hemrick. Tonight, again, he wins both stages here at Charlotte. By the way, Corey was one of 3 drivers who a year ago swept both stages and the race. Christian Eckes actually did it 3 times. Heim was also joined by Kyle Busch.
Well, it's time to talk again, Mark, about Craftsman. Who's getting it done? Corey Heim was getting it done in stage number 1. Do we have another contender in stage number 2?
Wow. It's kind of hard to... You know what? I'm going to go with Lane Riggs. They're up against the fence, and he's got a very fast truck. If that transmission holds it together, he's been getting it done. Corey Heim's the easy pick, but I tell you what, I think Lane Riggs has been getting it done as well.
I was thinking Lane Riggs as well, because not only did he get in front of Ross Chastain at the end of stage number 2, he was trading positions with Kyle Busch on the racetrack, and with a truck that has a gear issue, I'm very impressed. Lane Riggs finished stage number 2 in that 4th spot. That's our Craftsman who's getting it done. Your yard isn't overgrown. It's just ripe with potential. Conquer whatever it throws at you with the Craftsman V20 brushless RP outdoor lineup. More runtime, better performance, and fewer frustrations. See craftsman.com for details.
You know, a moment ago on TV, they were showing some of the pre-race things that Humpy Wheeler came up with, the school bus jump. And they had this crazy guy one time that tried to set the world record by jumping over like 50 cars. And that was one of the most spectacular crashes I've ever seen when he skimmed off the top of the last few cars.
Oh, the great Humpy Wheeler, recipient of this year's Landmark Award for the NASCAR Hall of Fame. The NASCAR Hall of Fame induction with Kurt Busch, Harry Gant, and Ray Hendrick will happen in January. What Humpy did, not just for Charlotte Motor Speedway, but for this sport, was incredible.
He loved boxing. He liked to spar. Like Bobby Hillin Jr. used to be one of his big sparring partners. Pit road is open. Andrew Curlin.
Yes, pit road is indeed open, and we have a lot of takers, including the 34 of Lane Riggs, who continues to fight a tight condition. Gio Ruggiero also fired off tight and loosened up as the run went on. And then one of the best short-run cars, Ross Chastain, is going to make a track bar adjustment to adjust for the longest stage of the race. Brett McMillan.
Caden Honeycutt starts off free, and then he goes tight during the run. They get an air pressure adjustment, 4 tire change for him. Kyle Busch wants to go back about a half a round on the adjustment they made last time. Honeycutt finishes up with his stop, 14.5 seconds as he pulls back down pit road. Andrew Curlin, back to you.
Yeah, we saw on that last run towards the end of the stage, Tanner Gray involved in that incident with Parker Kligerman and others. He's lost 2 laps, so things have gone from bad to worse for him. They had to bring him back down pit road this time to work on the left front. So big problems for the guy who started second here.
Top 7 as they come off of pit road. Caden Honeycutt, Corey Heim, Lane Riggs, Ross Chastain, Kyle Busch, Gio Ruggiero, Daniel Hemrick, also right behind him in the 8th spot, Ty Majeski.
This is a Camry. This is a Camry on NASCAR. This is a Camry on NASCAR with Ty Gibbs behind the wheel. Now you're up to speed. You in? Follow the action at tgrna.com. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC.
We're at the start-finish line.
William Byron on pole position. Green flag is out and we're racing.
We're in the turn.
Here to the inside comes Kyle Larson. He and Hamlin bump.
We're on pit road.
4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel. The race up from pit road is Denny Hamlin. Eric Jones goes off second.
We are live from the track. The Motor Racing Network, your home for NASCAR racing. Don't miss a lap, pit stop, or side-by-side race for the win. Listen to all the play-by-play action on your local radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com.
When we come back, we'll give you a full field rundown and start the final stage of the North Carolina Education Lottery 200. From Charlotte Motor Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
You're not going to want to miss tonight's county fair. I'm going to be...
We are your window to your community.
Did you see the last 5 minutes of that football game last night?
Oh, man, I saw the whole thing.
And a lifeline to keep you safe when danger is near.
Everybody who is listening needs to take cover as soon as they can. This is one of the biggest storms.
We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress you depend on your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Jeff Gordon wins the Daytona 500.
Jeff Gordon's rise to one of NASCAR's all-time greatest drivers was one like no other. Relive Jeff Gordon's journey to the NASCAR Hall of Fame with the exclusive MRN podcast, Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career. 93 Cup Series wins, 4 Cup Series championships, and 3 Daytona 500 wins. A career rivaled by few others. Check out MRN's Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Pace car driver Eric Johnson in that Toyota Supra pace car leads them past the line once again. We're under yellow at the end of stage number 2 of this Craftsman Truck Series, North Carolina Education Lottery 200 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Let's give you a full field rundown. Caden Honeycutt, his crew, again, a great job. They get him off the pit lane first. Corey Heim, who's won the opening 2 stages, will line up in the 2nd spot. Lane Riggs 3rd. 4th is Ross Chastain. Kyle Busch 5th. 6th, Gio Ruggiero. 7th, Daniel Hemrick. 8th, Ty Majeski. Rajah Caruth 9th. 10th is Chandler Smith.
Grant Enfinger runs in 11th. 12th is Brandon Jones. Ben Rhodes 13th. 14th is Matt Mills. Dawson Sutton 15th. Stuart Friesen 16th after starting from the back at the beginning of stage number 2. 17th, Matt Crafton. Jake Garcia 18th. 19th, Connor Mozak. Tyler Ankrum runs 20th.
21st is Jack Wood. B.J. McLeod running in the 22nd spot, one of the Spire Motorsports Chevys. Also a teammate, Andres Perez, in the 23rd spot. Parker Kligerman, 24th. Then 25th, Spencer Boyd. Timmy Hill, 26th. Luke Fenhouse in 27th, with Stephen Parsons, 28th. The last truck on the lead lap. Cody Dennison is going to be scored -1 in 29th. Tanner Gray -2 in 30th.
Frankie Muniz 31st, 32nd. Mason Maggio, Justin Carroll 33rd. Tony Breidinger is 5 laps down in 34th, and we get the 1 to go at the halfway point of this race, Mark. We've got 67 down, 67 to go.
5 leaders, 10 lead changes so far. Corey Heim has led 44 laps. Ross Chastain 11. Caden Honeycutt 9. Gio Ruggiero, the pole sitter, led 2. Stephen Parsons, in an exchange, has led 1.
Interesting to see how this race is played out. Corey Heim, surprisingly, has lost a spot on pit road in each of the first 2 pit stops. Mark, we know they're going to pit again with 67 laps to go before the end of this race. Caden Honeycutt's crew has gotten him out first at the end of each of the first 2 stages. They might be under live fire under the green flag condition when we make our next pit stop. We don't know.
Maybe we should have voted for them for the Craftsman.
Who's getting it done?
Who's getting it done? Because that Caden Honeycutt's pit crew has been getting it done.
They are absolutely getting it done for sure. Pat Patterson lights out on that Toyota GR Supra.
Yep, everybody kind of scrubbing those tires a little bit. Get ready for a restart here. Caden Honeycutt gets another shot at Corey Heim up here on the front row of this, and I agree and echo what you guys are saying. He's really done a great job. Pit crew's done a great job tonight. It'll be the mellowed man on the inside of road 2, Lane Riggs, hoping that his gears stay together here as the pace car hits the pit road. Fans are on their feet. Let's do it again in Charlotte.
So here's Caden Honeycutt leading them into the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. We'll have 66 laps to go when they take the green flag. It is back out. The pack heads for turn number 1.
Corey Heim has looked like a mere mortal on starts and restarts, but like Superman on long runs. Let's see what happens this time. He'll give up first. He'll give up second. Ross Chastain will try to get him behind his teammate, Caden Honeycutt, who leads off turn 2.
Corey Heim is coming after him fast on the outside next to the wall. Honeycutt moves up to the block. He'll have to go to the bottom of the racetrack, and Heim is going to go right underneath him, making 3 wide off 4.
Wow, coming off of turn number 4 right now, the edge is going to go to, it's going to be Corey Heim over Ross Chastain as they head back to 1.
Looked like Hayden Honeycutt got just a bit too high in turn number 4, gives up the top 2 spots. Now he's in jeopardy of losing 3rd. Side by side for the race lead. Corey Heim outside, down on the bottom, Ross Chastain.
Door handle to door handles, we love to say. That's the way they're racing to turn number 3. And down to the bottom of the racetrack. Chastain trying to take advantage, but it's Heim that's going to get it rolling off the top side.
Heim muscles up on the top groove and takes over the lead yet.
Trouble! Chandler Smith goes sideways. He and Ty Majeski get together. Chandler Smith bounced off the outside retaining wall, came down across the field, got right into Ty Majeski, and this brings out the caution for the 3rd time here tonight.
So Majeski with sparks being thrown underneath that truck, heading now on the apron of the racetrack in turn 1. Chandler Smith gets his truck righted. A lot of damage on the right rear of that truck as well. And so again, this is the first yellow flag for cause tonight here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
There will always be more leaves, weeds, and yard debris. And when they show up, tackle yard cleanup with the Craftsman V20 Brushless RP Outdoor lineup. Delivering more runtime and better performance, the Craftsman V20 Brushless RP lineup of outdoor products will help you cut, trim, and blow through whatever your yard throws at you. Your grass, no problem. Overgrown hedges, not anymore. A neighbor who won't stop distracting you with weather talk? Well, you're on your own there. But for everything else, head to Craftsman.com. Craftsman. Build on. See Craftsman.com for details.
We are the voice of NASCAR.
The green flag is in the air, and we are underway. The Great American Race.
The Motor Racing Network. NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, and Craftsman Truck Series Racing live on your hometown radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com. Martinsville, Talladega, the Chicago Street Course. We have the side-by-side action and last lap passes for the win.
Photo finishes. Ryan Blaney will win.
The voice of NASCAR, the Motor Racing Network.
Gio Ruggiero got loose off of turn number 4, got into the back of Chandler Smith, and that's what started this caution. Smith came across the field, took out Ty Majeski. We've also seen some other trucks involved in this one here as well. They'll be getting repairs. Connor Mozak got a little bit of a piece of that. They're checking on Gio Ruggiero's truck as well. From Charlotte Motor Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
On Thursdays, NASCAR Live goes wide open with some of the biggest names in the sport.
The goal is the same, so the mindset's the same, all right? The goal is to win the championship.
And some familiar voices that you might not have heard from in a while.
You know, I thought about going to one of these teams because I'd really like to win the 500.
I never planned any of this to start with, right from the very beginning.
No matter what driver or what era is your favorite, NASCAR Live Wide Open has every corner of the fan base covered. Subscribe now wherever you listen to podcasts.
Local radio brings people together like never before.
It's a beautiful hometown weekend out there. We've got
your local stations keep you informed and involved with music, talk shows, and real-time news updates you can trust. We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters, connecting you to what matters most. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress to support your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the North Carolina Education Lottery 200, and problems for a lot of drivers here on pit road. Gio Ruggiero, one of them. They were looking at the right front. He drove by the spotter a few times to see if the damage was significant enough. Crew Chief Jeremy Donnelly said it is. We're going to have to bring you down on pit road, but they reminded the team we are not on the DVP clock, so Gio Ruggiero, they can work on that truck and try and fix the damage, get him back out there. Connor Mozak, also one of the other trucks that they're working on, the both right and left side of that vehicle, who sustained significant damage.
So Chandler Smith has taken his truck to the garage area. Also, looks like B.J. McLeod made some repairs after getting dinged up in that yellow flag as well. Let's go to Brett McMillan.
Yeah, as you talked about, Mark, Chandler Smith came down the right side. A truck of that, the back end of that truck was all messed up, and it looked like The rear axle was all askew before they pushed it back to the garage area. Ty Majeski has come down pit road. His right front tire was down. They replaced that, but now they're up under the hood doing some repairs up under there. All of it on the right front of that truck.
Thank you, Brett. Thank you very much, Andrew Curlin, as well. Corey Heim continues to lead here. We have 61 laps to go. Ross Chastain running in second, followed by Caden Honeycutt and Kyle Busch. Mark that last restart. They came off of turn number 4 in front of Pat Patterson, 3 wide, 3 rows deep.
Kyle Busch was right in the middle of that. Raja Karuth was right there, dead center, and they were trying to make up a lot of ground right there and then. And it's a miracle that they all got through there because, as you talked about, it wasn't just 1 row of 3 wide. It was 2, and they were stacked up behind them 2 by 2 as well. So that was pretty exciting.
Yeah, whatever fears that Lane Riggs might have about gear issues in his truck, it looks like those have either resolved themselves or at least are not a big enough deal right now because Lane Riggs was right there in the mix on that restart. He restarted 3rd. Now he's just dropped back to 5th, but that was just simply by getting past. He was very competitive on that restart as well, Mark. So Lane Riggs, the top Ford right now.
And we're seeing some guys begin to creep into the picture that may have something to say at the end. Raja Karuth, 7th. Grant Enfinger. Ben Rhodes now up to the 10th spot. So those are guys that know how to win on the Craftsman Truck Series and moving into contention.
Yeah, for sure. So this race here has been dominated mostly. Dominated is probably not a fair word, Mark. Corey Heim has led the most laps at 49. Ross Chastain has led 11. Caden Honeycutt has led 12. But just when Corey Heim gets away, that's when he stays away. Getting away, that's been the tough thing for several laps after restarts.
If you get the lead from Corey Heim, though, he takes it right back. He's led this event 7 times already. Not only has led the most laps, nobody else has led it more than 3. That is Caden Honeycutt. So Corey Heim, if you pass him, you better keep an eye on the rearview mirror, or you better look out the side because he may just be coming through either to your right or left.
Yeah, pit road had opened up. We're not within a window where these crew chiefs feel like it's safe to pull these trucks down and top them off with Sunoco fuel. Plus, you don't know how this one's going to end, Mark. This probably isn't a good time. 60 laps to go. It'll be 59 laps to go the next time by here in the North Carolina Education Lottery 200.
And you have a limited set of tires, so they definitely want to be able to, if they need them late in this race, be able to throw on 4 brand new sneakers and fill it up with Sunoco.
Yeah, they had 5 sets for the event. That first set used in practice. The second set went on for qualifying. That's the set they started with. Third set went on at the end of stage 1. Fourth set went on at the end of stage 2. They got one more set laying in the pits, one fresh set of sticker tires ready to use here at the end of this race.
So they'd love to go about 20 laps, maybe 25.
Yeah, let's split it maybe.
Yellow comes out, and that way when the leader pits, he knows pretty much everybody else has to come with him. So I think that would be, if I was Corey Heim, that's what I'd like to see. Like to see this thing play out. Or, of course, if you get a big lead, do it under green, give yourself a little bit of an advantage as well.
Yeah, and again, we don't know how this is going to play out. The first half of this race, while we had incidents, we literally had incidents as we were coming to the green and white checker flag, and those were just single trucks bouncing off the outside retaining wall as the caution was coming out for the end of stage 1 with Tody Breidinger and the end of stage number 2 where Tanner Gray got a little piece of the wall as well. This being our first true caution for cause, and it was a pretty big one. Brett McMillan mentioned it looked like the axle was broken on the back of Chandler Smith's truck. To put that into perspective, his truck, normally these are single axle trucks, if you will. You talk about single cab pickup trucks, single axle trucks. His truck went behind the wall. If you just looked at it from behind, it looked like a dually. That's how much both of the rear wheels were sticking from outside of the beds on Chandler Smith's truck.
So one thing this has done, we lose a couple of really good trucks that were running top 10, has kind of reworked the order. So let's give you a rundown. It looks like we may be getting the 1-to-go signal next time by. Corey Heim remains the leader. Ross Chastain second. Caden Honeycutt third. Kyle Busch fourth. Fifth, Lane Riggs. Daniel Hemrick sixth. Seventh, Raja Karuth. Grant Enfinger is eighth. Ninth is Ben Rhodes. Matt Mills now up to 10th.
Lights go out on the Toyota GR Supra Pace car. 1 to go before we go back to green in the Echo Park Automotive restart zone. Brandon Jones runs in 11th. 12th is Dawson Sutton. Stuart Friesen 13th. Jake Garcia 14th. 15th is Tyler Ankrum. Parker Kligerman is 16th. 16th. 17th is Timmy Hill. Andre Perez de Lara runs 18th. 19th, Spencer Boyd. 20th is Matt Crafton.
Jack Wood has dropped down to 21st. He is one of a number of trucks that jumped onto pit road to take on fuel. They may be trying to stretch it because we'll have 57 to go when they take the green flag. So Timmy Hill now being scored 21st. He just pitted. Stephen Parsons as well in the 22nd spot. That puts Jack Wood 23rd. Luke Fenhouse 24th. 25th, Cody Dennison. Then 26th, Connor Mozak. 27th, last truck on the lead lap, Gio Ruggiero, -2 and 28th, Tanner Gray. Then it's Frankie Muniz and Ty Majeski being scored in 30th.
Chandler Smith out of this race. He's behind the wall, currently being scored in 31st. Mason Maggio, 32nd, -8 laps. Justin Carroll, -9 laps in 33rd. Tony Breidinger is -10 laps in 34th. And Pat Patterson, we're about to get it going here again at Charlotte.
Yep, they're rolling right in front of me right now over here in turn 3. Lights out on the pace car, getting ready for a restart. Ross Chastain up here in the front. I listened to him before the race started, guys, and all he could talk about was trying to win this race tonight. He got his niece teammate right behind him, Kyle Busch, and right there in that second row, Daniel Hemrick's ready to go with Lane Riggs. Okay, fans, get on your feet. Let's do it again here, Charlotte.
Pace car hits pit road, will take the green flag with 57 laps to go in this Craftsman Truck Series race. Green flag is back out. Corey Heim, Ross Chastain locked door to door, heading to turn number 1.
Ross Chastain, known to be a very aggressive and successful restarter. Can he take the measure of Corey Heim? Doesn't look like it. Off turn 2, Heim with the race lead. Side by side for second, 3 wide off turn number 2. Chastain will get the spot.
Corey Heim is gone again. He's got about a 4-shot lead there going into turn number 3. Kyle Busch is right on Chastain's bumper there. Now he slides up the racetrack. The bottom of the racetrack, here it comes.
It's Heim and Chastain, then a side-by-side battle for third. Lane Riggs on the inside of Kyle Busch as they head back into 1.
Lane Riggs has enjoyed the outside lane better all evening long, but he'll make the inside lane work, take the third spot away from Kyle Busch. Busch got a little bit too high in the middle of 1 and 2 and lost that third spot.
Chastain has closed it down up front now. Only 1 truck length separate first and second. Ross is going to go to the high side of the racetrack, and that is about where Corey Heim is as well on 4.
As they work their way out of turn 4, down the front stretch here at CMS, here's Caden Honeycutt putting some heavy pressure on Kyle Busch, and on Honeycutt's rear deck, it's going to be Daniel Hemrick.
That's the fight for the 4 through 6 positions. Bottom of the racetrack goes Kyle Busch in that 4th spot as Chastain, running second, closes the gap between himself and race leader Heim.
Now second and third only separated by about 4 truck lengths, as once again it's Lane Riggs trying to dig and hold on to this lead groove up here. Kyle Busch about 4 truck lengths behind him 4th.
Up front, Ross Chastain tries to use momentum from the middle groove on Corey Heim. Just 1 truck length off his tailgate into 1.
Ross Chastain, one of about 3 drivers who've been able to show the ability to stay with Corey Heim for 10 or 15 laps. He's trying to get that race lead and get that out in front of Heim. Heim will say no, sir, at this point.
Heim has got Chastain big in his mirror now into turn number 3. Once again, only a truck length separate first and second. They go to the bottom of the racetrack. Riggs goes to the high side, and Kyle Busch stays on the bottom.
Daniel Hemrick peeks to the inside of Caden Honeycutt, can't get it done. Brandon Jones now has entered the top 10. He'll now fight Ben Rhodes for 9th.
6 trucks single file begin to separate themselves, and that fight for 9th will continue into turn number 1. Now things shaping up for the 2nd spot. Swinging around Ross Chastain and bypassing him easily is Lane Riggs.
Lane Riggs, the guy that was into it last week with Corey Heim, is right on his bumper. Now Riggs goes up to the high side of the racetrack, trying to get it rolling off the top of the hill.
Corey Heim has just led 700 laps this year in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, more than any other driver through 11 races in a season, as we go down to the Infield Care Center with Andrew Curlin.
Yeah, Chandler Smith out early tonight. What happened from your perspective?
I just got left reared coming off of 4, and yeah, crappy deal. So sucks. Brand new truck. Felt like our number 38 Quick Type Products Ford F-150. We were getting close to where we needed to be able to go up there and give them a run for their money. Just had to adjust on it a lot from practice to qualifying, from qualifying the race. We're starting to go back on that and getting back to that happy medium we thought we were going to need to. So sucks, but we'll move on to Nashville.
Obviously frustrated Chandler Smith out early here.
You just mentioned that Corey Heim has gone over 700 laps led. The next closest driver, Chandler Smith, has led 188. Corey Heim, far and away, has been at the front of the pack more than anybody else this season.
Yeah, pretty incredible for him for sure. Well, Corey Heim leads this race. It is Lane Riggs running in second. Kyle Busch is in third. And Rob, Kyle's doing a lot to try and keep Ross Chastain away.
Yeah, he just took the spot away from Ross, but Ross would like to get it back. Meanwhile, up front, these two guys, Heim and Lane Riggs, went at it a couple times last week, Pat. And now I think Lane's going to be a little bit careful.
I'm impressed with Riggs, though, man. He has really run that truck hard tonight. Heim down at the bottom of the racetrack now, all four.
So as they come down to the stripe, there's going to be 49 laps to go. Need to mention that Ty Majeski has had to take his truck to the garage area. As we pause 10 seconds for station identification, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the NASCAR Tough Trucks.
Welcome back to America's home for racing, Charlotte Motor Speedway. Alongside Mark Garrow, my name is Brad Gilley. Joining us in the turns, Rob Albright and Pat Patterson. Covering pit road, Andrew Curlin and Brett McMillan. Our top 10 right now: Corey Heim, Lane Riggs, Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain, Caden Honeycutt running 5th. 6th is Daniel Hemrick, Grant Enfinger 7th, Rajah Caruth 8th. 9th is Brandon Jones and Matt Mills.
wide and certainly could mix things up.
And he may get there, he may not get there, but even if he does, I think it's too big a lead for Ross Chastain to catch him. Ross needs a caution.
All right, down the backstretch once again. Here's Corey Heim. He's going to work himself into turn number 3. Pulls on the wheel now down, pulls it down into turn number 4. Once again, going to catch Majeski here off of turn 4.
4 laps to go, 7-second advantage for Corey Heim. Ty Majeski had damage earlier. He's the next truck that could go a lap down.
Right now, Corey Heim's spotter is the guy who's got to earn his paycheck because he's got to help his driver navigate through a handful of lap trucks right in front of him. Corey down the backstretch.
Heim works his way by Majeski, no problem there. Now comes by another lap truck as he works his way down top of the racetrack. Nobody in his purview whatsoever now as he's got a little bit more clear sailing. Mason Maggio in front of him.
Corey Heim making it look so easy across the stripe. 3 laps to go here at CMS.
For everybody else, maybe a bit of a crime, but it's Corey Heim time. One more time it would appear tonight. He goes to the bottom of the racetrack between 1 and 2. Now he'll exit that second corner. Matt Kraft and Jack Wood race side by side in front of him.
Heim gets around Gio Ruggiero. There was also an incident earlier. He's going to try to probably catch the back end here of the Matt Crafton truck and Jack Wood that's right there in his way off of 4.
Off of turn number 4 this time. It's going to be 2 laps to go. Jack Wood moves out of the way. Corey Heim continues to set sail into 1.
There's still several other cars battling for position deep in the pack that may cause a problem, but we don't wish that for this race leader because he has been so dominant. He'll charge now off turn number 2 with Matt Crafton dead ahead.
Corey Heim holding his breath and looking for that white flag. If he can just get there, things will be good on this Friday night here in the 1.5 miles at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Here he comes off turn 4.
Corey Heim, how impressive. The all-time Truck Series winner, Kyle Busch, 13 seconds behind. Now as Heim takes the white flag.
We talked about why this talented truck driver seemed to have trouble finding a good ride at a higher level. Well, he's got that in hand now. He'll race his way off turn number 2, bypassing Matt Crafton.
Corey Heim is going to come down turns 3 and 4. Got one truck slow on the bottom of the racetrack. Jack Wood not going to make any difference here. Corey Heim looking good here at Charlotte.
For the 4th time this season, Corey Heim will see a checkered flag. He will win the North Carolina Education Lottery 200 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Corey Heim leads 98 of 134 laps to go to victory lane after opening the season with a win at Daytona and picking up victories at Las Vegas, Texas, and now Charlotte.
On Thursdays, NASCAR Live goes wide open with some of the biggest names in the sport.
The goal is the same, so the mindset's the same. All right, the goal is to win the championship.
And some familiar voices that you might not have heard from in a while.
You know, I thought about going to one of these teams because I'd really like to win the 500.
I never planned any of this to start with, right from the very beginning.
No matter what driver or what era is your favorite, NASCAR Live Wide Open has every corner of the fan base covered. Subscribe now wherever you listen to podcasts.
The thrills of NASCAR racing from over 55 years of Motor Racing Network broadcasts.
Bobby Allison brings the race car right down in the middle of the track, crosses the start-finish line, and he will win the 24th annual Daytona 500.
Bill Elliott wins the Hooters 500. Alan Kulwicki, 1992 champion.
MRN Classic Races.
And in the whole pack, steaming for the finish line, Dale Earnhardt wins a Winston 500.
Find all the classic moments on MRN Classic Races on any podcast platform. NASCAR Live Race Day continues on the NASCAR Racing Network.
15th career Craftsman Truck Series win for Corey Heim. His first at Charlotte Motor Speedway after he took the checkered flag first a year ago, but got DQ'd.
Yeah, tough night, but a great one for him here tonight. Corey Heim able to beat Ross Chastain, Caden Honeycutt, who finished 3rd, Lane Riggs finished 4th, 5th was Kyle Busch, Grant Enfinger was 6th, 7th Matt Mills, Daniel Hemrick, Rajah Caruth, Brandon Jones rounded out the top 10. Corey Heim, a big burnout, one of those big smoky sliding across the start-finish line burnouts as he's getting congratulations from that Tricon Garage team, and a big win with that Toyota Tundra, nosed right up against the outside safer barrier as he is going to grab the checkered flag and celebrate with a huge victory here. We're going to hear from our top finishers and our race-winning truck driver here tonight.
There were a few times people were able to take the lead away from Corey Heim tonight, but he quickly took it back and absolutely dominated the show. Let's go down to Brett McMillan.
And Caden Honeycutt out of the truck, and man, your pit crew was lightning fast tonight. You come back with your best finish of the year. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Gosh, I really hate we're not in victory lane. I really would have loved that for Al Neese. All of our partners, Foundation for Pops, DQS, Solutions Staffing, Precision, Autoventive, everyone at Chevrolet. Make sure for the hard work, man. Just God, they were awesome, man. You're not kidding. They were damn awesome tonight. Just wanted to win. You know, it was Memorial Weekend, and our owner fought for our freedom, and you know we get the privilege to come out here and race in circles. So thanks to him. It's a career day for me, but this team wants to win, so just as bad as I do. So we'll good day today, good solid points, and we'll go on to Nashville next week. So excited for that. But thanks to everybody for the support, and appreciate everyone. Butler Seats as well, Smartco, everyone that helps me.
Certainly a team moving in the right direction. Let's go to Andrew Curlin.
Yeah, Lane Riggs with an impressive P4 finish. It was an exciting race. You had a lot going on. You just went over to Kyle Busch. What'd you tell him?
Oh, so, man, that was good racing. You taught me a couple of things there. We raced the crap out of each other out there. So, you know, I always enjoy when the Cup guys come down. Chastain, Kyle, a few of the other guys that always come down and run in the truck series. It's always enjoyable and teaches me a lot of new things. So, yeah, we just didn't quite have the truck tonight. I was really bad on fire off. Every time we'd fire off, the initial start all the way to the end, it was a handful to get going. So I'd get swallowed up pretty good, and then by the time my pressures came up and I got where I needed to be, it was just kind of too late, and you just kind of get stagnant out there. But overall, good day. Truck's in one piece. I don't even think we have a scratch on it. So, you know, good to have this truck still in the fleet, not bringing it back on casters. But good learning day. We were not that great here last year at Charlotte, and feel like we got a lot better this year, so making a lot of improvements.